Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another brand new video. This is Total Extreme Wrestling 2020. We're in 2021 in both save and in real life. That's right, the WWE. We're on the road to Elimination Chamber, but not just that. If you missed it, on Sunday we dropped TakeOver Double Bill. Go back and watch that because there will be spoilers abound. An odd pay-per-view in a lot of ways for NXT UK, but a great one for NXT. So yeah, we're picking up off the back of that. Before we go any further though, I just want to throw back to a few weeks ago where I recorded this little promo because I need votes. I need to know what my next save is going to be, and you guys have the options. Let's throw back. So as many people may know, this save is only going until WrestleMania, which means we have to start looking ahead. And when I look ahead, I'm going to give you three options. I've narrowed it down to three options, three saves I'd like to play. So you guys get to choose what we do next. There will be a poll in the description below. And here are your options. Right, number one is the WWF, or it will be WWE, which is what I'd call them, from 1993, and in specific, the first ever Monday Night Raw. We're going to kick off the Monday Night Raw. We're going to turn it into what we want it to be. And it's quite an interesting landscape at the time because it's January 1993, which means the Nature Boy Ric Flair is still in the company. I'd love to try and get him to stay if we do this save. You got Mr. Perfect. You got Bret Hart as WWE champion. You've got Razor Ramon coming up. Taker's there. Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan are still there. Shawn Michaels is on the rise. Marty Jannetty's still there. We could actually do something with him rather than letting him fall by the wayside, potentially, depending on drugs, obviously. But there is a lot of potential with this save. We take it forward and see what difference we do. There's Yokozuna as well. Forgot about Yokozuna. So there's a lot to do. And a new television empire was born with Monday Night Raw. How different could we make it? That is option number one. Now, option number two is a different company. It's WCW 1995. And in specific, like I said again, first Monday Nitro. I really am intrigued by a WCW save because I've never been a big fan of WCW in the sense of I've never watched enough of it. So it's completely new ground for me. It's a clean slate. So WCW 1995 could be very interesting as we take the fight to the WWF or the WWE and we see if we can make WCW the number one company in the world. Similar to what they did, but can we do it and can we sustain it? It's potentially an amazing save to do. So if WCW is your thing, vote for number two. And finally, option number three is the most modern option of the lot. It comes from 2010, so still 10 years ago. But we're looking at TNA. Now, TNA, there's a lot of memes about TNA. But at this particular point, it's January 2010, and it looked like TNA were about to have a new start. They had Hulk Hogan coming in, they had Eric Bischoff coming in, and they'd moved to Monday nights. They were going in competition with Monday Night Raw. That sounds scary already. But there's so much to like about this TNA roster at the time. You've got AJ Styles, you've got Bobby Lashley, you've got Samoa Joe in there, Alex Shelley, the Motor City Machine Guns. There's a lot to like about the roster, and potentially you could turn them into something amazing. It's a different set than I've ever done. It's the most modern one. It's intriguing though. It is very intriguing. So that's your option number three. Make sure you do vote, and yeah, I will probably drop this in every video now until WrestleMania. So, yeah, I'm going to make sure you vote because the next save is going to be hugely important. Thank you very much. He's a very handsome man, that guy. Brilliant. Anyway, let's crack on with it, shall we? This is your week 3 of the Elimination Chamber build. And, yeah, some big matches on the way. Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley for Monday Night Raw. Whew, let's get started. Okay, Monday Night Raw kicks off with The Miz because he's awesome. So we start with The Miz, and he's on commentary for the opening match, 68 for this. The opening match then is announced last week, Drew McIntyre versus John Morrison, hence The Miz being on commentary. And yeah, should be pretty good, hopefully. And it is an 80. Wow. 85 from Drew, 60 from John Morrison. Our main event better do better than that now, I tell you. Start as you mean to go on. Drew McIntyre beats John Morrison clean with the Claymore because it's a better finish in than the Future Shock. It's just better. Afterwards, though, let's do something a little bit interesting. So after the match, Drew is celebrating when he's attacked by the Miz. And afterwards, John Morrison gets involved. It's a 2-on-1 attack on the United States champion. When out for the save comes Keith Lee. Is it a save, though? That's the question, because Keith Lee comes running out. He pounces John Morrison, and we can even have him running to the ring and pounce John Morrison, and he flies over the top rope, bumping to the floor, because that'd be funny. That leaves Keith Lee to take out the Miz, and he does just that with the Spirit Bomb. McIntyre gets to his feet, and he looks like he's sort of about to maybe, I don't know, shake his hand or something. But last week, of course, these guys were fighting with disrespect. So Keith Lee says, you claimed me last week. So he drops McIntyre with a Spirit Bomb in the middle of the ring. Keith Lee has beaten up the Miz. He's beaten up John Morrison, and he's also beaten up the United States champion, Drew McIntyre. Okay. Bayley got a promo on Becky Lynch for 67. This is hyping up that triple threat match between Bayley, Shayna and Becky for the WrestleMania title shot at the Elimination Chamber. Then Bayley was in action against Kairi Sane for 69. That's very good for a match between these two. 66 Bayley, 54 Kairi Sane. A clean win for Bayley. Makes sense. We gave him a lot of time here because it's Raw, and God, there's just so much. It's just so long. It's just so long. So let's fill it with good wrestling, shall we? Yeah, pretty good stuff. Afterwards, Bayley celebrating when out comes Becky Lynch. Now, Becky Lynch was beaten up twice last week by Bayley and Shayna Baszler. Becky Lynch is not having that. So Becky Lynch comes out to fight, and she beats down Bayley. She locks in the arm bar, the disarmer. And Bayley is forced to tap Becky. A bit of revenge this week for a 68 rated segment. We'll build on that later. Okay, the Miz is in Christian's office complaining about Keith Lee getting himself involved and beating up the Miz and John Morrison earlier tonight. And Christian says, you know what, Miz, you're right. I see that you've got a real grudge here with Keith Lee. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to work your stuff out. Tonight, it's going to be you versus Keith Lee. 1-on-1, and we're doing that match tonight. 73 for a good segment backstage. Alistair Black got a promo on AJ Styles for 74. Black talked about how he was this close to hitting the Black Mass last week on the WWE Champion. But at Elimination Chamber, it's Black Masses all round. And he will win the title shot. But then when we get to WrestleMania, he won't be this close. He will hit a Black Mass and another Black Mass and another Black Mass and win the WWE Championship. Alistair Black with the promo there. Right, Black was in action against Elias for 77. Good match. Alistair Black carrying it with a 77 performance. 61 from Elias. 15 minutes or so, and I put the wrong finish. Right. So this was supposed to be Alistair Black getting a clean victory over Elias. Instead, Elias has made him tap out to the Boston Crab like it's 1991. Okay. Didn't happen. Alistair Black won. No, I ain't having that. We're going to have to save that somehow. Oh, my God. Right, AJ got a promo on Sammy Guevara for 70. Let's get back on it. AJ got a promo for 70, and yeah. Pretty good from the WWE Champion. Talking about Sammy Guevara being not ready for this opportunity. He is, to use a Sasha Banks word, just a rookie. So let's see what happens, shall we? Shayna Baszler got a promo on Becky Lynch for 70. She talks about how Shayna and Becky have history. And at SummerSlam, Becky Lynch was the one tapping out to Shayna Baszler. And if she does that again at Elimination Chamber, Shayna Baszler gets another shot to win back her Raw Women's Championship. And at WrestleMania, Charlotte better be aware, words, because the Queen of Spades is ready to take her throne. 70. Good promo. Shayna beat Mandy Rose for a 75. The matches are working tonight. Oof. That was the correct finish as well. Shayna Baszler gets the win. Pinfall, knockout punch. Okay. 73 for Shayna and Mandy Rose. 53. Mandy's got a gimmick that's getting stale. So that needs a change in. And I'm actually going to write it and take notes this week because I keep forgetting to do it. So Mandy Rose is on the list. Okay. Afterwards, Becky comes out looking for revenge on Shayna Baszler. That she knows that Shayna will be expecting it. So Becky has got an equalizer, not a steel chair. Let's do something a bit different. Let's do brass knuckles. Why not? And a big... Shayna just won with a KO punch. Well, Becky nails one of her own here. Leaves Shayna Baszler down. Revenge on the mind. And revenge is what Becky Lynch gets tonight. Daniel Bryan cut a promo on AJ Styles talking about the Elimination Chamber and talking about how Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles may just be the WrestleMania main event that a lot of people will want. And in one of those men is Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan says at WrestleMania, I may just have my last WrestleMania, but it may just be the best WrestleMania I've ever dreamt of. 68, we'll see. The six-man tag then gets a 78. So interesting because this is a match that potentially could have main evented, just like McIntyre and Morrison. Didn't do as well as the opener, so that's very interesting. 87 from Daniel Bryan, by the way. Oof. AJ putting in an 81. 67 from Sammy Guevara, 68 from Tommaso Ciampa, 65 apiece for the other two heels. And the winner here is Sammy Guevara, who continues his momentum, continues to shut up AJ Styles and prove him wrong as he wins, pinning Austin Theory. 78, yeah, good stuff. The Miz got a promo on Keith Lee for 69, hyping up their match, which is next, I want to say. Let's find out. It was next, and that got an 81, so that's the best match on the show. And I have no idea why, because 72 from The Miz, 69 from Keith Lee. I'll take it. Absolutely take it. Keith Lee beats The Miz, another strong showing from Keith Lee. The Spirit Bomb does the business clean. That's it. Keith Lee wins, and you tell the story of he's laid out The Miz earlier. He's laid out Drew McIntyre on multiple occasions. He's laid out The Miz again tonight. He's beaten The Miz. Who can stop this new, reinvigorated Keith Lee at Elimination Chamber? 81, yeah, good stuff. Afterwards, Keith Lee is, well, approached, let's say, no, confronted by Drew McIntyre, who's looking, after earlier, to get a piece of Keith Lee. They stare each other down, and they start to brawl. They brawl, right? One of the old-fashioned punch brawls. No moves, punch brawl. That's a new thing. We'll have that. When Damian Priest slides into the ring, Damian Priest attacks Drew McIntyre and hits the move he does, which was the Razor's Edge. I don't know what it's called now. But yeah, he hits that. And Drew McIntyre is laid out. Priest has attacked McIntyre. Is that because he wants a United States Championship opportunity? Or is there something more at play here? 72. Right, Charlotte Flair was out in the ring. She had an interview in ring, asked about the footage we saw a couple of weeks ago of her being the one that attacked Becky Lynch. And she says, you know what? Fine. Yes, I attacked Becky Lynch, but that's because Becky has always been taking my opportunity. It was my turn to have a title opportunity at Clash of Champions, and Becky Lynch wormed her way into that match. Well, I just weren't having it. Everywhere I've gone, I've had this orange shadow over me, and I have had enough. So I took her out. I did what I needed to do, and now because of that, I am standing here, your Raw Women's Champion. Now, yes, Becky won the Royal Rumble, and if she gets through the Elimination Chamber, she's got a date with Destiny, but it's not a date she's going to like. It's not a date she's going to win, because the Queen will make sure that Becky knows her place in the pecking order. 78. That is not the end of the segment now, because Becky Lynch has been hunting down Charlotte Flair, and she comes out looking for Charlotte Flair again. It looks like we're going to get the confrontation. Becky gets into the ring and Charlotte Flair leaves. Charlotte Flair leaves. We do not get the confrontation. Not yet. 78. Right, Andrade beats Cedric Alexander for 79. Again, the matches are killing it tonight. 82 from Andrade, 56 from Cedric Alexander. Andrade carrying it and winning right then. We got a promo from Braun Strowman on Bobby Lashley for 71. Can this main event hold up to some of the other really good matches tonight? We'll find out. Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley gets us an 81. So you know what? It did. It's our joint best match, but it did. Very good stuff for the 81. 86 from Braun. Bobby Lashley 72. But the man you'll see that wins it is Bobby Lashley. A statement victory here from the almighty Bobby Lashley. Clean win on Braun Strowman. I don't know why everyone's using a knockout punch all of a sudden. No. A spear nails Braun Strowman for the 1, the 2, the 3. A statement victory. The shock from the announcers will play this. The fans won't expect it. Bobby Lashley has made a statement to Braun Strowman. He's made a statement to Andrade, to Daniel Bryan, to Alistair Black, to Tommaso Ciampa, that he will walk into Elimination Chamber. He will down all the monsters and he will get his WrestleMania title shot. 81. Great main event. Gives us an 80 rated Raw. Yeah, it's about right. And it's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Main event kicks off with the 56 rated match. A little low. 61 from Murphy. 62 from Xavier Woods. Murphy beats Xavier Woods. A big win here for Murphy. That hurt. Yeah, big win. So Murphy's Law does the business. 56 is a bit low though. Bit odd. Roman Reigns cut a promo on Seth Rollins for 69. Yes, that's right. Roman Reigns cut a promo on Seth Rollins. Last week's Smackdown, of course, ended with the Bloodline destroying the Disciples. Interesting. Right, moving on. Jeff Hardy and Chad Gable, the Alpha Enigma, cut a promo on the Usos, hyping up their feud. I am thinking we're going to do a pay-per-view match between those two teams. We may well announce it this Friday on Smackdown. We'll find out soon enough. Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley went one-on-one for a 58. Rhea Ripley getting the win over Nia Jax. The Riptide. I don't know what soul food is, but that's an awful name for a finisher unless you're like Aquaman. Jesus Christ. Rhea Ripley gets the win. 51 Nia Jax. 56 for Ripley. Easy. Bobby Lashley cut a promo on Braun Strowman for 68. Bobby Lashley is bragging here. He's in full-on almighty brag mode, talking about how Braun Strowman and his choo-choo noises can choo-choo off. I tell you, get rid of it. For the record, awful. 68. Moving on. Tessa Blanchard cut a promo on Asuka for 72. Good promo here from Tessa Blanchard. Tessa, of course, laid out Asuka and Costa the women's title in a way last week. So, yeah, we're building to a match between the two. Tessa says Asuka came into the WWE and was talked about as a shining star, as someone to beat. Well, Tessa Blanchard is the person to beat. 72. Dolph Ziggler and Sammy Guevara had a 69 rated matchup here. 66 from Sammy. Dolph 54. Guevara's getting better and better, so it's working so far. And another win under his belt here over a former World Heavyweight Champion, a two-time World Heavyweight Champion for some reason, Dolph Ziggler. Right. Okay. Randy Orton got a promo on Montez Ford for 72. These two go one-on-one on Friday night on SmackDown. Not just those, though. Kevin Owens and Big E are going to go one-on-one. 69 rated promo from Kevin Owens. And I think it may be time for the main event. It is Alistair Black and Elias in 2 minutes, because Alistair Black needed to beat Elias and he squashes him. At 56, they don't like squashes on this program, but on this game. But it's fine. Alistair Black wins. It's not going to be a good main event, but goddamn Alistair Black wins. He lost 3 popularity points because of that stupid mistake. Moving on. The main event 60. That's actually a solid score for main event. Sure. NXT this week kicks off with the number 1 match, the first match, numero uno, of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And it's, well, a pretty good match. A 71. Kyle O'Reilly gets the submission victory for his team. The Undisputed Era are into the semi-finals. The most decorated team in NXT history are looking for a little bit more gold. Will they get that? We'll find out. 71, great match. Breezango beat him, but I thought he'd do well, and he did just that. 71 from Kyle O'Reilly, carried it. Fandango 48 was really off his game. But yeah, that's fine. Kyle O'Reilly, legend, good start. Adam Cole cut a promo on Finn Balor for 72. He says, look at it this way. I went through Bobby Fish. I went through Kyle O'Reilly. And then I went through Roderick Strong. The three men who held my back and had my back for 3 years. It's done. But the Undisputed Era was my creation. The Undisputed Era is mine. It will forever be mine. And Finn Balor thinks he stole it from me. Well, I'm going to steal it back. I'm going to steal back the Undisputed Era name. And I'm also going to take that NXT Championship. 72. Right. Crazy Mary Dobson was in action for a 29. Didn't click. Brilliant. 4 minutes. Crazy Mary Dobson beat Mia Yim. I'm moving on from that because that's just going to annoy me. Dakota Kai cut a promo on Tegan Knox for 45. Dakota Kai says Tegan got lucky. But you know what? She quite likes the idea that Tegan Knox is going to be around in NXT now week in and week out, because week in and week out Dakota Kai has basically got a punching bag to use whenever she likes. 45. Right, we did an angle where Pete Dunne came to the ring with a North American Championship on his shoulder, and he gets on the mic and he's talking about what it means to be North American Champion, what it means to be the target, to be hunted down. Now, Johnny Gargano, everyone knows what Gargano's done in NXT, but Pete Dunne has beaten Johnny Gargano. Pete Dunne has put Gargano to the back of his mind. So Pete Dunne is asking the question, what's next? Well, that's answered straight away. The music of Pentagon Jr. hits. He walks into the ring. He doesn't get on the mic. He stands face to face with Pete Dunne. He points at the championship and he smiles. And that's how we end the segment. Pentagon Jr. smiling at Pete Dunne, who's holding the championship aloft. We'll get to that in a bit. 83 though, really good segment. Cameron Grimes defeated Trey Miguel for 69. This is hyping up next week when these two are part of a tag team matchup in the Tag Team Classic. It's going to be the Academy versus the Rascals. So, yeah, pretty good. 65 from Cameron Grimes. And he wins cheating to do so because, you know, Cameron Grimes. Duh. Right, yeah, good stuff. Timothy Thatcher cut a promo on Pete Dunne for 36. 36. Thatcher will be back from injury for next week's tag match, but not just that. He's talking about how while he's been injured, he's been thinking about his career, and he's been thinking about in NXT, he hasn't been able to prove exactly what he's proven throughout the years of how he is the very best. He was the best European wrestler out there. On the European circuit, he was the very, very, very best. Everyone talks about British strong style and the bruiserweight. Well, Timothy Thatcher was British strong style. Timothy Thatcher has been a bruiserweight his entire life. Timothy Thatcher says Pete Dunne is a false champion. 36. Not great. Right, second tag team classic matchup of the night, and the big beefy boys join the Undisputed Era into the semi-finals. That's right. Bronson Reed pins Zach Gibson. The grizzled young veterans are beaten for a 61. Fourth time this match is done recently, so it's brought us down a little bit. But Zach Gibson put in a good performance at 68. And the big beefy boys get the win. The big beefy boys are looking to win back their tag team championships. And I'm just going to say it again because I've said it a lot already in this segment. The big beefy boys. God, it's such a weird name. Tegan Knox got a promo on Dakota Kai for 67. She heard what she said earlier, and Tegan Knox says, you know what? Anytime Dakota Kai wants to fight, Tegan Knox is ready to fight. 67. And then next week it's announced. That's right. We saw the setup earlier, and we're doing it next week in the main event of NXT It's going to be Pete Dunne defending the North American Championship against Pentagon Jr. That should be fantastic. Right, we did a tag match to hype up next week. Gargano and Loomis got a victory over Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. Gargano and Loomis getting some momentum ahead of next week when they go 1-on-1 or 2-on-2, with the War Raiders. 62, pretty good. Gargano 87, carrying it as you would expect. Right, Matt Riddle got a backstage promo for 69. He's talking about how he went after the NXT Championship, but he couldn't quite get it done. And now what happened to the bro? What happens to the bro in NXT? What's left? Matt Riddle says. Interesting. 69. The North got a backstage promo bragging about being your new NXT Tag Team Champions. They say it doesn't matter who wins the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic because the North are Tag Team Champions for life. 56. Finn Balor got a promo on Adam Cole ahead of the main event for 67. Right, main event then, and Adam Cole defeated Karrion Kross for an 81. That is how it is done. 78 from Adam Cole, 68 from Karrion Kross. An 81 main event in NXT. Whew. Very, very good. Post-match, Adam Cole calls out Finn Balor. Balor comes out with the Undisputed Era by his side and goes, oh, no, you're not man enough to take me on one-on-one. That enrages Balor. Balor comes to the ring, they get face to face, and the brawl is on. Adam Cole and Finn Balor brawl around ringside. It gets pulled apart by referees. Madness to end NXT this week. That gives us a 75 rated NXT. That is fabulous, actually. Fabulous. Very, 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 very good. Did I say it was very good? Right, NXT UK this week, we know the main event is for the NXT UK Championship. But we open with the man who was so close to winning that belt at TakeOver Insurrection, Tyler Bate. He's in action against Wolfgang in the opener. He cut a promo on Wolfgang saying how he needs this victory. He needs to get back on track because he needs to find out what is next for him in NXT UK. 59. Tyler Bate does beat Wolfgang for a 58. Pretty good. 64 from Tyler Bate. Carried it. 37 from Wolfgang. Tyler Driver. 97. Bing, bang, bosh. Tyler Bate is back to winning ways. Next week, though, we announced 2 matches, and they were both supposed to be on the Insurrection card. Yeah, if you're wondering why that didn't happen, watch that episode. Madness. The Prestige will defend the NXT UK Tag Team titles against the Welsh Dragons next week. That's not all, though. Last man standing. That's right. The Ojmo versus Chris Brooks. I think it was last man standing. I can't remember what we decided it was going to be, but their gimmick match is next week. Interesting. Right, Kaylee Ray was called out by Julia. Kaylee Ray and Julia had a promo battle in the ring. Kaylee Ray talks about, I did what I had to do. I am a champion. I did what I had to do. And Julia was talking about how, she thought Kaylee Ray was better than that. She thought there was more respect between the two, but she sees there's not. And she understands that Kaylee Ray doesn't deserve respect. That angers Kaylee Ray, who slaps Julia around the face and scarpers because she realises Julia's going to attack. Kaylee Ray is out of there, building on this potential heel turn for Kaylee Ray. 46. Right, Zia Brookside continued her winning ways against Bobby Tyler for 31. She didn't. This is the second time this episode I've booked the wrong winner. Fine. Right, let's think about this as we go along. Right, Zia Brookside's got a gimmick that's getting stale, so let's change that as well. She's going on the list. Right. Zia Brookside wanting to continue her winning ways, but she came up against Bobby Tyler, and Zia Brookside, seemingly looking ahead to the UK Championship, took her eye off the ball and she needs to learn not to do that, or she will lose in the championship match. She needs to be better than this. Sorry, Zaya, that's harsh. Right, she got a promo on Kaylee Ray afterwards, and she says exactly what I just said, how she needs to be better and she needs to prove she is worthy. Right, let's get on to the main event then, shall we? Volta got a promo on Scotty Davis at 74, really good. And the next match is for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. Volta defeated Tyler Bate. He's defeated Ilya Dragunov. He's defeated Killian Dane, Drake Maverick. You stand them up. Volta has been putting them down. But tonight in Dublin, Ireland, Scotty Davis, the hometown boy, thinks he is good enough. Let's find out. Your winner and still NXT UK champion. Do you think I'm doing the title change? I had to double check that I didn't make a mistake, to be fair. But 62, a great main event for NXT UK. Volta defeats Scotty Davis, his 12th defence of the NXT United Kingdom Championship. 64 from him. Volta has a gimmick getting stale. He's on the list. Right, okay. 62, though, really, really good. Gives us a 60 rated NXT UK. That is very, very good. Volta is a god. He's a god. Smackdown this week kicks off with the Street Profits making their entrance, in particular Montez Ford. He's cutting a promo on the way to the ring for a 72. Really good for Montez Ford. He's in action against Randall Keith. And it gets us a 73. Good start. Randy Orton carries this one, a 75. Montez Ford 56. Randy Orton defeated Montez Ford in 15 minutes with the RKO. Brilliant from Randy Orton, and he goes into the Elimination Chamber continuing to pick up the victories. Okay, we did a in-ring segment. They got a 72, and it's faction warfare. In the ring are the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso. And Roman Reigns is talking about the fact that he stands here with his family. He stands here with his cousins and his bloodline. But not too long ago, he was standing here with people who he thought was his family. And one of those men turned out to be a traitor. Now, the thing is, last week, he gave this traitor an opportunity, and the opportunity, well, it didn't quite work out for this traitor. So Seth Rollins, get out here right now. Seth and the disciples come out, all 6 men in the ring, seemingly pairing off, and the brawl breaks out, and it goes mental. Everyone everywhere brawling. Referees are trying to break it up, they can't. People from the roster have to rush out to try and break it up, and it's just mayhem. We are going to do this match next week. I'll announce it later, but whoa, gang warfare. Right, Ricochet defeated Wesley Blake for 77. Ricochet got a 77 out of Wesley Blake, who put in a 32 performance. Ricochet, God. Absolute God. 86 performance. Wow. Next week, it's announced, not next week, but we're going to be seeing the Women's Championship on the line at Elimination Chamber. Sasha Banks gets her rematch against Sonya Deville at Elimination Chamber. That's announced just before Sonya was in action against Naomi, and she beat her for a 73. Sonya Deville. Naomi's got a gimmick that's getting stale, so that needs changing, which will be changed. Sonya Deville picks up another victory. Afterwards, Sasha Banks comes out for the face-to-face there, trash talking, and in the end, Sasha Banks has enough, and with the rings on her fingers, she punches Sonya Deville right in the jaw, knocks Sonya Deville down, and Sasha Banks stands over Sonya Deville, smirking. Deville sort of scoots her way back out the ring and walks away. Well, furious, sure, but knowing that this isn't the right time for this fight. 67, these two are going to go one-on-one at Elimination Chamber. Right then, Alpha Enigma. Speaking of Elimination Chamber, Alpha Enigma got a good win against the Leviathans for a 72. The matches tonight are really working. 66 from Jeff Hardy, the best of the lot. Really good. Chad Gable made Sheamus tap And then afterwards, it is announced that at Elimination Chamber, it's been booked by JBL. The Usos will defend the SmackDown Tag Team titles against Alpha Enigma in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Should be very, very good, that. Very good. Right. It's also announced next week, that 6-man tag we were building up earlier. It's the Bloodline versus the Disciples. Pick a side, ladies and gentlemen, because 2 gangs, 2 sides, 2 teams, 2 life mantras are going at it. So pick a side. 64, fine. Right, we did a women's tag team championship match, and as you can see, we did a women's tag team championship change. That's right, Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair are your new women's tag team champions. Now, it's a tag team title change with not a lot of fanfare, admittedly, because it's the women's tag team titles, but I wanted to change things up a little bit. It's the best way to do so. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair can call themselves women's tag team titles for a bit, and it plays into value. Lacey Evans and Carmella, disappointing Tessa Blanchard for tonight, disappointing her, and that goes into the following segment. But yeah, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, new tag team champions, gives them something to go with for a bit. Afterwards, that was meant to be before. Value were meant to cut a promo before. But you can say they cut a promo afterwards, talking about how disappointed they are to be losing the titles. They're frustrated. They don't want to be interviewed, blah, 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 blah. And then they run in to Tessa Blanchard, who gives them a dressing down, tells them off, tells them to leave. Go and pack her car. Go and pack the car. Go and pack the car. So out goes Carmella, out goes Lacey Evans, and that leaves Tessa Blanchard alone in the back, ready for an Oscar attack. Oscar attacks Tessa Blanchard backstage. Last week, Tessa cost Oscar the Women's Championship. Oscar this week looking for revenge. And Tessa Blanchard is laid out by the Empress of Tomorrow. Right. I think it's main event time. And it is for a 78. That's pretty good. Not quite as good, but pretty good. Big E defeats Kevin Owens with a big ending. A clean victory for Big E over Kevin Owens again. And Kevin Owens just can't beat him. Big E can definitely beat Kevin Owens. And afterwards, Big E hits another big ending on Kevin Owens, looking to make a statement ahead of the Elimination Chamber. When out for the save comes Ricochet, making up from last week. Ricochet running off Big E, helping Kevin Owens. And yeah, that's how we end SmackDown for a 78. Not bad at all, actually. Again, solidly booked. Good matches. Elimination Chamber is now a week away. And we are ramping it up. And that's it then, ladies and gentlemen, the end of your week. And a big one indeed. Huge main events on Raw, on SmackDown. Pretty huge on NXT as well. The NXT UK title was on the line on that show. And main event was okay. Main event's just the nothing show anyway. So yeah, pretty good week. The Elimination Chamber card is really starting to be set up now. You can see where it's going. You can see the potential matches we have. And I'm really looking forward to it. Now listen, if you haven't voted in the Twitch, the poll in the description, please go and do it now. I need to know what my next save is going to be. You guys have the ability to make that happen. If you like the video, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more, and until next week when we've got another big week. God, they keep ramping up. We got week 4 and then Elimination Chamber, and then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this quietly into the mic like this because it's important. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Shit. Yeah, seriously. Right. Anyway, see you later. Have a good time. Just sign off. Just peace. Jesus Christ.